So you're thinking about renting. Let me tell you, when you rent, you are paying someone else's mortgage. When you rent, you are building someone else's wealth. So let's look into details what that all means. So I've been working with a lot of clients lately that wanted to understand a little bit better the numbers, the facts between renting and buying. The best way I can show you that is to take you online to this calculator that helps decide the numbers, crunch the numbers for you to see at the end of a certain number of years when you stop renting or when you sell your home, what that's going to look like.
But this does not replace your local area expert, your realtor, to help you navigate through the process of securing a home, whether it's renting or purchasing. Right? So I wanted to show you real quick. It's called the Upshot. This was put out by New York Times back in 2014, but it is still relevant today for you to sort of play around with and maybe help you towards making a decision which way to go. So what this calculator will do is, let's just say that you're looking at a particular home in a particular market and you kind of have an idea about what kind of home you want, and if that home is for sale, what will be the monthly obligation. So we've chosen 324K. That's the closest we could get to 325. And in the Forsyth County, Georgia area, in Cumming, Georgia, 325K is probably going to allow you to buy a nice home. And that would amount to about a little over $1,000 a month in your monthly mortgage. And the monthly mortgage here is given certain scenarios are included in the mortgage, right? It is a 3.35% mortgage rate, 20% down, 30-year conventional mortgage. So in here, this is, I believe this amount is the principal and interest only. So you're going to have to add the taxes and insurance later on, and I'll show you where that is calculated. Okay, with that kind of monthly obligation, this calculator at least says that if you can find a home at a little over $1,000 a month or less, it makes better sense for you to rent. I know that in my market, finding a nice home for you to rent at this amount is really pretty much non-existent. Once in a while, you could find a good deal, but mostly to find a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home, single-family home, or even a townhome, you're talking anywhere between $1,500 to $2,000 a month. More so closer to the $2,000 a month rate, monthly rate, than the $1,500. So what this calculator take into consideration is not only, for a purchase, what the interest rate is, what sort of down payment you're putting down, and the loan terms. This also takes into consideration if you were to put the amount that you purchase in an investment portfolio, what the rate of return is. This also take into consideration if you were to sell your home in 10 years, which is what we put in here, what the home would appreciate annually. And if you were to rent, what the rate of rent growth will be. So all of that is taking into consideration, including what your taxes are, what your marginal tax rate is. And it tells you, if you don't know what marginal tax rate or any of these terms, if you run your cursor over the question mark, it'll tell you what it is. This calculation also includes your closing costs, the cost of selling your home, maintenance and fees. Everything is taken into consideration, correct? So, having said that, what I really want us to focus on with this calculator is these numbers right here, okay? What it would cost you over a 10-year period. And if you were to leave the home that you're renting, and if you were to sell the home that you purchased, what your net proceeds will be at the end of 10 years. This is where it is really eye-opening, and this can really help you make a decision which direction you want to go. If you were to rent at the end of 10 years, your net proceeds will be the return of your deposit. If you indeed found a home to rent for $1,045 a month, that's what you'll get back. But if you were to purchase the home at the end of 10 years, sell that home, your net proceed, and keep in mind, this is all approximate because we don't know what the housing market is going to do in 10 years, right? But we can use our best guess to predict what it's going to do. Your net proceed back to you and in your pocket is almost $210K. So, what you are in fact doing here when you rent is that you're paying someone else's mortgage. You are building someone else's wealth. And in worst case scenario, your rent from month to month is sort of going into a black hole and you'll never see it again. If you were to buy, you are building your own wealth. You are investing your own money monthly so that at the end of 10 years, you get 210K back.
That's it for now. I hope that was helpful information to you. And if I could be of further assistance, please feel free to message me, and I'll see you next week. Before you go, consider subscribing to my channel. Mash that red button below and click on that bell. It'll send notification when I upload my next video. Until then, cheers.